Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for a review on the SH Monster Arts Godzilla -1 figure. Drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. I feel like I got pretty lucky with my one. The eyes seem to be good. I'll try and get as close as I can to them later on in the video for you, but also the teeth seem to be quite nicely painted on mine as well. And the overall paint job is really impressive. I have not seen the film yet. I live in the UK and we don't get to see it until the 15th, and that's Friday. It's Wednesday today, so day after tomorrow I will finally get to see Godzilla -1. I cannot wait. At this moment, Shin Godzilla is my favorite film, Godzilla movie of all time, but we'll see what happens after I see this. I've heard amazing things and I'm very curious to see it. I'm actually seeing it in something called Screen X at Cineworld Cinemas, and I did look up. I didn't actually check beforehand, I just was so eager to get my tickets booked and I thought, oh, Screen X, that sounds fancy, so I'll just book me tickets for that. It turns out it's some kind of wrap around the room screen situation where it's to the sides of you as well as in front when you're watching the movie, so hopefully that will suit something like Godzilla. But I will let you know my thoughts on the film at some point after I see it on Friday. But I wanted to just review this figure. I was going to try and hold off until after I see the movie, but it's going to be a few days after Friday that I'd be able to do a video again. So maybe it's best to review the figure without seeing the movie so I'm not influenced by it one way or another. And I'm just literally reviewing a Godzilla figure in front of me here. So I'll be absolutely honest with you and tell you what I think. But I will say I'm really impressed with him straight out the box. It's a very, very cool figure. Also, I didn't have the issue with the top of the spines being broken. I saw that in a few people's videos on YouTube. Right, now I'm going to get as close as I can to the eyes. They do seem to be painted pretty well on this. I say the one on the left and the one on the right are not exactly, as far as the pupil goes, not exactly in line. It looks like the one on his right is looking slightly more up than the one on the left. Well, I'd say that's probably pretty common with these. And the paint on the head though looks really nice. The teeth seem to be painted well on the bottom row. I'm loving the detail on him. So I'm happy enough with the eyes on mine. Not perfect, but certainly better than some of the other ones I've seen. I feel sorry for those folks. Hopefully they can get a replacement. And there was one really bad one where however they do the eye, whether it's a decal or just a paint job, it just wasn't even on the actual eye sculpt. It was slightly below it. I hope they can get that sorted out. But overall, for a figure as small as this, because he is really small, it's, deceptive when you're looking at the footage here, because you think, wow, that looks nice and satisfying and big. But regular viewing distance for something this size would be about here. And the eyes look fine. It's not the best quality, but just one of the daylight shots from some of the early footage we've seen of the movie. I don't think SH Monster Arts have done too bad a job here. Recreating that kind of colour scheme that he has. He's different from a lot of the Godzillas, which is that kind of charcoal grey. This has that, perhaps as a base coat, with lighter shades dry brushed over the top. And when this was on the way to me and when I was watching other people's videos, I was thinking I'm probably going to have to repaint this. But I really don't think I will. I don't think it's necessary on this particular copy that I have here. It doesn't look rushed. I really like the way it looks. There could be more. I'm sure when I see the film I'm going to look at it and think, yeah, there's definitely a lot of work to be done here. And maybe I'll just, add to it. But I wouldn't do what I did with the Shin Godzilla SH Monster Arts figure and completely repaint it with a base coat and then all the other layers. This would require just, for me personally, just a touch up if I go down that road. We'll see. I'll watch the movie and then I'll decide. I wasn't in love with this design when I first saw it. You know, when they first revealed it, didn't dislike it, but after loving Shin Godzilla so much, this definitely and obviously is more of a, you know, let's take it back to, you know, you could talk all day about Heisei influence or, you know, all kinds of influences in one Godzilla here. But it does feel very new and unique as well. Haven't seen the film yet, so I'm sure my feelings on that will become a lot more detailed and things to say once I see the film on Friday. But it's definitely growing on me, the design. I can see it becoming one of my favourites in the very near future. Alright, I've tried to get him in a really aggressive, roaring, but also moving forward as he does it. He's kind of stepping forward. You do have toe articulation as well in this figure. And it's a lot of fun to work with and take pictures with. And the buildings are made by iPop Designs, and they are scaled to go with SH Monster Arts Godzilla figures. Obviously these are from a more modern time, but some of the buildings look like they could have been from that period, like this one here possibly, and maybe this one. But they're incredibly detailed, and they just, you know, they're a lot of fun for stuff like this. Alright, now we'll take a look at the figure on the rotating base. We'll start off with the full body shot, then we'll zoom in and take a closer look as it turns. I really do love those spines on the back. At first, I thought they were a bit much, but I really like them now. I'm sure I'll like them even more once I see the film. Now I'm assuming on his left side, like the cheek area and the eyebrow seems to be a different colour to the right side. And I guess that's something to do with what happens to him in the film. Apparently he regenerates really quickly. I'm interested to see that. And some really good articulation though. The arms are really nice to move around. So far I've had no problems with arms popping off the body or anything. And overall, considering he's fully articulated, the joints are there, you can see them, but they're not eyesores to look at. I'm really quite pleased with every aspect of him. Like I say, I think I got pretty lucky with my copy, and I hope other people do too, because it's a very impressive and cool figure to have when it comes along in the state it was supposed to come in. You know, I'm very happy. I've got no issues that I've seen so far with this piece. Let's get in even closer. Let's check out his feet. Lots of articulation there. His elbows look pretty dangerous. His fingers and nails painted well. And then after this I'm going to get a background out. Nice backdrop. Let's take a little look at those spines close up. They look really nicely done. And the face with the articulated jaw. That's about as closed as I can get the mouth. Alright, so let's get a backdrop out and have some fun with it. Alright, I've got my backdrop and I've got him in a cool kind of just taking a breath pose. Arms kind of flat by his sides. You can imagine him just kind of breathing heavy, coming to a stop. Just seeing that chest breathing, the aggression. the sound. I'm not able to get him to look left and right very well, but I don't really mind because I've got so much articulation in the arms, torso, and the legs as well. Very articulated. Not having much luck getting him to look left and right. It might be possible, but I don't really want to push it too hard in case I scratch the paint. But I don't mind if that just means we get more subtle looking joints on the figure, then I'm all for it, because I'm not a big fan of, you know, really big exposing joints on figures. It's not too good for photography, but I think this figure works really well for taking pictures and trying to get it to look as cinematic as possible. Speaking of which, I saw a video, I don't know, because I watched so many while I was waiting for this to arrive. One particular person, he posed it in his video like it was swimming in the water, with the arms and the legs kind of in a swimming position and the tail kind of straight out behind him, with the head looking directly straight forward. And it looked amazing. I'd really love to display this like that. But he also looks incredible just standing like this. It's got a hell of a presence. Alright, so now I've tried to get him looking up as high as possible and roaring total rage. Just an absolute outburst of dissatisfaction with the situation in general. He is not happy. That ring piece, maybe a poor choice of words, but that's, you know, that's what it is. It's kind of like a big ring that goes around his body there in the middle that hides the articulation. It does cast a pretty intense shadow when the light's coming from above. For photography, it's no big deal. But that looks amazing right there. Look at that. I can hear him. I can hear him roaring. That is badass. Look at that. So after this, I'll give you a couple of little shots next to some other SH Monster Arts pieces I have. It's mainly Shin Godzilla stuff. I have been tempted to dip into the other figures from the Heisei and the original as well. I was quite tempted. I actually don't have an original Godzilla figure. I've been keeping an eye out for one, but they're very expensive as far as the X Plus 30cm line goes. Speaking of which, I'm sure they're going to do a lot of these in the future. I can imagine at least, 4 to 6 versions of this guy coming from X Plus. Maybe more when you think about the Defario and the 25cm range and the 30cm. Glowing from where he's about to unleash the devastation. And just regular, all kinds. I don't know, maybe battle damaged. I've heard that he gets pretty messed up in the movie. So I'm going to see. I can't wait, man. I'm so excited to see it. Alright, and here's a little height comparison next to the SH Monster Arts Shin Godzilla on the left. And the -1 figure on the right. And there is a considerable height difference, as there should be. And that's good to see. But they complement each other well. Okay, so final thoughts and a score out of 10. I would highly recommend him. I give him a 9 out of 10. Can't give him a perfect score because he's out there in the world with quite a few issues. I got a good copy, the eyes are good, the teeth are pretty decent, and I don't have any issues with the figure on my one. But I know a lot of other people have. So I'd have to go with a 9 out of 10. For what I have in front of me, I'd go as high as a 9. A very good representation. Being that I haven't seen the film yet, we know that, but once I do see the film, I'm sure I'll notice things, but I really do, from the little I've seen so far, I do feel that this is a nice choice, for a collectible from the movie Godzilla -1. So a strong 9 out of 10 from me. Highly recommended, and I hope you get a good one. Or at least if you don't get a good one, I hope you buy from someone who will allow you to swap it over for another one. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll let you know my thoughts on the movie once I see it on Friday. And I am really looking forward to it. Now what you're going to get next is a nice little showcase video featuring lots of poses and cool cinematic camera angles on the figure in different poses and different backdrops and buildings around him and stuff. With a nice little soundtrack from the band I used to be in, my last band, It's an instrumental track, and it's the last song we recorded, and I've been waiting for an excuse to use it in a video, so I hope you enjoy that. It's not the kind of music everyone's going to be into, but it's nice and chaotic and heavy for Godzilla here. But it's me on drums, my old mate Steve on bass, and my old friend Wayne on guitar, and we were called Ternary. You can find a few of our bits and pieces out there on the internet, possibly on Bandcamp and stuff like that. I used one of our tracks in a recent Blitzway Kurt Cobain video. I hope you enjoy it. Drop a like on the video for me, that's important. It helps more people find the content I'm putting out. Make sure you are subscribed and follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333 for plenty of pictures. See you soon, take it easy. Bye bye.